As much as I love coffee, sometimes I don't need a full pot. If you're the lone coffee drinker in your home, or you just want a machine to serve smaller amounts, you might be looking at the Cuisinart Grind and Brew single-serve coffee maker. It makes 1 cup at a time, but in 2 ways, using pre-packaged Keurig pods, or fill the included adapter with your own coffee. Hi, I'm Erin from Tech Gadgets International, and in this review I'm going to take a look at what this machine is like to use, how it works, what the coffee is like, and what you might need to know before picking it up for your kitchen. I'll wrap things up with both the pros and the cons and let you know if I think I can recommend this coffee machine for you. I'd like to thank Cuisinart for gifting a machine to me for my review. Though they did provide it, they didn't ask for or receive any permission to have any input whatsoever into my review, so you can consider these thoughts all my own. The Cuisinart Grind and Brew single-serve coffee maker is the only thing in the box. There are just 2 other components with it, a removable drip tray, which just goes under the spout, and hidden inside a side door is your reusable filter cup. To get ready to brew, you do have a couple tasks. The machine comes with a water filter, which pops into a small compartment at the bottom of a long holder that will then sit in the bottom of the water tank. That'll need replacement about every 2 months or so. Then fill the 48-ounce or 1.4-liter water reservoir. Cuisinart recommends you run some water through the system in order to give it a bit of a rinse before your first coffee. Next up, you can fill the small coffee beans hopper with fresh beans and snap the lid into place, which is going to keep it fresh. Underneath the hopper is a small clip, which is where you'll slide the reusable filter cup when you want to use that. The filter cup is a small K-cup style basket, which you'll fill with your own ground coffee, and we'll get to exactly how to use it in just a sec. On the right-hand side of the machine is the brewing head. Whether you use your included filter cup or you buy Keurig pods, these will get placed under the lid here. Up top is your control and info panel. This will allow you to choose your 3 different sizes of coffee, and there's 8, 10, or 12-ounce cups. This is also where you'll trigger grinding your beans, and you'll be alerted if your water tank is low. What's it like to use this machine? I'm going to be making coffee with the Cuisinart Grind and Brew single serve, and I'm going to go over making coffee both with your own ground beans and using a K-cup, and let's start with the ground coffee option. Start by opening up your reusable pod and sliding it underneath the grinder. Touch the grind button and wait for it to do its thing. The machine is going to measure the appropriate amount of ground coffee and also the grind size, and there doesn't appear to be any way to change either of those settings. When the reusable cup is full, slide it out and close the lid. You'll need to remove the K-cup adapter from the brew head and then set the reusable pod inside. Close the brew head and choose the size of coffee you want. It takes about 20 to 25 seconds for the water to heat up and the brewing to begin. One thing I did notice is that it brews almost entirely silently. Well, at least the water part. There's no hiding the sound of grinding the beans. An 8-ounce cup brewed up for me in about less than 90 seconds, which I think is pretty quick. I measured the coffee temperature just after brewing at about 149 Fahrenheit or 65 Celsius. This is quite hot, but not scald your tongue hot. I did notice a rather common feature of grinding machines like this, and that is you can expect a sprinkling of ground coffee to spill out of the device. Most of it gets captured in the drip tray and shouldn't be a major problem. Making coffee with K-cups or Keurig cups is even quicker and easier and quieter since it skips the grinding process. Ensure the K-cup adapter is in the brew head, then drop in your Keurig pod and close the lid. Choose your coffee size, and again, this brews up in about 90 seconds or so. It does seem like maybe it takes a long time since the coffee tends to kind of dribble out rather slowly, but given the small amount we're brewing here, I actually think it's a perfectly reasonable length of time. If for some reason you need to stop the brewing process, just push the brew size button again. The parts, including the filter basket and drip tray, can go in the dishwasher, but they're safe only for the top rack. You can also rinse or hand wash the parts under running water. Overall, I'm surprised at how convenient this machine is. It would be most ideal, I think, for occasional coffee drinkers as opposed to those who are downing a pot a day. Let's go over both the pros and the cons of this machine so you can see if it might be right for you. On the pro side, it's incredibly convenient while at the same time offering 2 options for brewing. Grinding of beans aside, the brewing process is incredibly quiet, ensuring that if anyone is still sleeping, they're not going to be bothered. A cup brews up in about 90 seconds or so, which is a reasonable time frame. The coffee is hot by my standards, and you have the option of brewing 3 different sizes. The water tank holds 48 ounces, which will make about 6 8-ounce cups before it needs refilling. The conical burr grinder also does a really good job of grinding the coffee well to an even consistency, and you can take that apart for cleaning. So what are the potential downsides? There's not a lot of deal breakers for me as far as I'm concerned with this machine. I think the biggest standouts for some coffee lovers might be the sprinkling of coffee grounds from the grinder, or perhaps the fact you might have to refill the water tank more often if you're making larger portions. And on that note, if you did want to insert a large travel mug, there's not really enough room for that. The footprint of the machine may also be a little on the large size, given it's only producing a single cup, but since Cuisinart has essentially doubled the brewing methods here, the size is kind of understandable. In short, I think this is a great single-serve coffee maker that gives you really good options whether you want convenient K-cups or to use your own ground coffee. I can absolutely recommend the Cuisinart Grind and Brew single-serve coffee maker for you. It sells for about $200 Canadian or $149 US, and you can get it directly from Cuisinart or from several retailers, including Amazon. And I get to review all kinds of unique coffee machines. Check out this brand new option for portable espresso making, or see what a larger format grind and brew machine from Cuisinart is all about right now.